It is said that desire is the source of suffering, yet life is fueled by it. We are born out of desire. Does that mean life is suffering? Growing up as kids, we desired food, protection, a mother's love, friends, toys, and games. We desired things, we suffered a bit, but we did not suffer life. We were whole with nature and joyful in the present. Our desires were simple, our sufferings were simple, and our life was beautiful. These desires and sufferings were useful as a survival mechanism for us in the past, allowing us to evolve. But why is it that we suffer in life now? What role does desire play in it? What went wrong, and when did this happen? A child never grows up thinking he's missing something in life. However, as he grows older, especially during adolescence, the world around him corrupts his development of self-awareness. Instead of practicing meditation and cultivating self-awareness, we're encouraged to be self-conscious. The education system, our friends, and even our families judge us, compare us to ideals, and pressure us to create an image of ourselves that fits their expectations. We've been trained to imagine a future that could be, would be, or should be, according to the imagination the world wants us to have. We're compared to people who have achieved greatness. We're told to think about our future, to plan for some imaginary version of it, and to shape ourselves into those famous ideals and images. Every family member asks us about our future plans, not how we're doing in the present. Every business and marketing tactic is designed to make us feel unsatisfied with our present situation in life. Everyone tries hard to keep us from living in the present moment and in a state of self-awareness. And unfortunately, they've succeeded on a large scale. Because we haven't had the opportunity or support to develop our self-awareness and explore our true potential and authentic creativity, we end up driven by the images and ideals the world has given us. We're influenced by people who appear to live great lives. We see people in magazines who seem happy with their new villas and mansions. We scroll through social media and see others traveling the world, eating fancy food, and looking fulfilled. This clouds our self-awareness even further. We start imagining things, desiring things that aren't rooted in our current situation or reality. That imagination creates a false, ideal future we begin to chase, and if we don't achieve it, we feel our life is a waste and begin to suffer. We compare our lives with the lives of others. We compare our experience of life with theirs. This creates a sense of inadequacy in the present moment, a feeling that our own life lacks depth and meaning. We start feeling we are missing out on life. This is where desires originate, and so does suffering. We start condemning the present, and we start to choose the future. And desire is nothing but a projection into the future, to become someone, to attain something. Today, in the 21st century, we are bombarded with images and endless possibilities for a so-called better life from all directions. Our desires are growing rapidly, we're becoming increasingly restless, and our desires are scattered everywhere. One moment we want one thing, the next moment something entirely different. We're trapped in a web of desires, without a clear sense of direction or purpose. There's a constant state of titillation, a restless urge to live, to chase, to fulfill an imaginary future that often has no grounding in our present reality. This leads to mental fragmentation and dissatisfaction with life, the beginning of suffering. Our system manufactures desire-driven, ambitious minds to sustain the success of the economy. We're rewarded, recognized, and respected when we're fueled by desires. Men may work tirelessly for bigger homes and lifestyle upgrades, to gain higher status, or to impress the women they desire. Women, in turn, are conditioned to want a man who has everything bigger. Unconscious desires are driving the economy more than any genuine sense of humanity. A human life slowly degenerates into that of a hamster on a wheel. It's like we've been conditioned to believe that Coca-Cola quenches thirst better than pure water. We drink it, believe it's quenching our thirst, and then crave more. But it is never enough, and we end up suffering and damaging our mental health. It's interesting to see that Coca-Cola is a more successful business than pure drinking water. Now we must hope for the success of the economy, but not at the expense of humanity. The economy was meant to serve humanity, not the other way around. We must begin to question, discuss, and explore how we can bring back the right perspective. But first, shouldn't we be responsible and take a break for self-reflection and self-knowledge, to see whether our desires are consciously organized by us, or unconsciously shaped by the world around us, to see that many of our unconscious desires and imagined futures are, in truth, nothing but illusions, illusions born from our self-ignorance? Sometimes there may be beauty in the desires and imaginations the world gives us. We may desire and imagine living in the world of Harry Potter, becoming a student at Hogwarts, or owning a Pokemon and entering tournaments. But that beauty exists only if we're aware of its unreality, and we do not expect it to be fulfilled. It lives in our minds, enriching our imagination. We enjoy the intellectual play, but do not suffer from it. Yes, desire is the juice of life, so we must grow in self-knowledge that comes from self-awareness and discover our own unique inclinations. We must learn more about what truly drives us, rather than what drives the economy or status. We need to discover where our innate curiosity takes us, to listen to what our creativity longs to express. Along the way, we may explore and stumble upon new activities, media, literature, and other aspects of life, not to appear ambitious or smart, but to discover what genuinely touches us. Desire, then, becomes fuel for self-exploration and a beautiful intellectual pursuit. We begin to channel our desires into higher creativity and inspiration. We make our desires conscious. And sometimes, these desires may not appear grand or impressive to the world, but life becomes deeply worth living, and the path opens toward a more authentic and deeper fulfillment. However, as you continue living your beautiful life, and as your awareness matures, you may begin to realize how even conscious desires breed more desires. You start to see the cycle, how it's bound to happen, because physicality has its limits, but your dreams and longings are limitless, no matter how noble or creative they are. You are deeply in love with life, yet still unsatisfied. You have lived a beautiful life, and yet, it doesn't feel like enough. There seems to be something within you that wants to experience everything, everyone, all at once, doesn't there? Is it possible to experience such a thing? Well, if it weren't possible, then why would the longing exist in the first place? This is what the Eastern masters have called enlightenment. It is at this point that you begin to consider desiring something without limits. You channel all your desires into one, your desire for ultimate freedom and enlightenment. Now you combine and channel all your desires into one desire. This desire won't lead you to the point of absolute freedom or enlightenment, but this desire can lead you to the realization of its own futility. The path to enlightenment has its striving. To others, it may look like suffering, but to you, it is the longing, the thirst for freedom, and the fire of life that carries you forward. To reach the limitlessness, the desirelessness, you must begin with desire. It is impossible to begin with no desire, since the desire for no desire is also a desire. But when the realization of its futility arises, not intellectually, not in thought, but in your direct experience, you drop it. Effortlessly, right then and there, you become absorbed in the presence, here and now. And here, there is no suffering for you. You are in bliss. You are free. To live in the presence naturally enhances one's sensitivity and perception of life over time. This enhances the quality of life experience and, in turn, lessens the need for external possessions or sensations. As this happens, joy arises from your very nature, and such a person becomes dangerous to society and businesses because their joy no longer depends on the things the world tries to sell.